What's going on, guys? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 29. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
Where the fuck is everybody?
Yes, that's a good question. And Anthony Nash, the only other guy here tonight. What's up?
We're going to have a drama-free episode.
Yeah, right? Especially after that last one, man. This is going to be the opposite of last Throwdown, man.
I have to say that episode did really, really well, and we got quite a bit of nice comments from that one.
Yep, listening to it was something. It was an experience.
Oh man, like I'll let you guys know. Like obviously you guys liked it and stuff, but Manny and I afterwards we were both like, oh god, like
yeah. There was one moment. If you guys have heard it, we were just like.
I'm sure there were moments that you wished you could have taken back.
Yes. No, but I mean, like overall, it was like Manny and I were trying to jump in. We couldn't break up the mob. It's like. Okay, just let the dogs at it now, But
yeah, and Tony was having some internet issues, and there's all this kind of funky little behind-the-scenes stuff that was happening in there. So it was interesting.
Yeah, but again, like this is just from a producer's standpoint. It was just out of control. You never want that. But the fans, you guys liked it, so.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. For the most part, I feel like it went according to what we wanted it to. We imagined it to be. Just a little bit toward the end, it got a little bit out of hand, and there's some couple moments in there that I felt like were like I feel is a little bit embarrassing, but
yeah,
it went good.
Yeah, it went over well. By the way, the reason we don't have people here and we didn't get many questions is because of Easter. It's like
Happy Easter.
Right. And keeping in the spirit of the holiday, I'm going to drink on air, so it'll be very interesting. We got Budweiser in the house, the greatest American beer. I know some people are going to give me shit about that. Hey, Budweiser is good, man. You guys should hear it now. Bam.
Bam. Now we're celebrating Easter.
Now we're celebrating Easter. The birth of rabbit, with chocolate rabbit zombie Jesus, right? That's how it goes. Easter's so weird. It's like this is the way I understand it. So on Easter, rabbits start laying chocolate eggs. One of them has Jesus inside of it, but the kids eat the chocolate, so Jesus has to start again next year.
You know what
Basically,
it is.
That's more or less.
Yeah, that's pretty much Easter.
You know what it all stems from, though. Easter, just like Christmas, is one of those holidays that is a converted pagan holiday.
Yes. Oh man. By the way, this beer is fucking excellent. Just had to throw that out there.
So yeah, it's a converted pagan holiday. Essentially, what happened during the Inquisition times. It's like, they were like, they go to some place and they're like, all right, you're switching over to Christianity now. And that
I think you mean Roman times. I think was
Roman times.
That's less later.
Yeah. They're like, okay, you're switching down to Christianity. And that holiday that you celebrate every year just so happens to be the time that Jesus got resurrected. Isn't that great?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and when you're starting a religion, you just kind of be like, oh, everyone's celebrating? Yeah, we'll do that.
That's what it is. They were like, okay, don't change the holidays you got. It's still cool. It's just
you don't need to change shit, guys. It's called something else now, but you keep celebrating the way you were celebrating before.
Yeah, just do it like you used to. Same thing with Christmas. It's like that is also a holiday that was converted from a pagan holiday because there's too many other coincidences that coincide with it. It's like there's some other religions that have something around that time too. And it's like, wait a minute, why is that?
Yeah. Now, obviously, some guys listening to the show are probably like, wait a minute, but that's what day Jesus was born. No. I'm sorry, it was a pagan holiday. Nobody knows when the guy was born.
To get into to get into a little bit of religion stuff, that's what the whole Jehovah's Witnesses thing is about. They have cut out every single bit of pagan stuff, which means Christmas and Easter. They say, oh, hey, we don't know when Jesus was born, so whatever,
Yeah, well, why they cut out the good holidays though?
They cut out all the even you can't even have birthdays in
Then they come to your house at like 7 a.m. trying to convert you and shit. It's like, who wants to be converted when you're trying to sleep on a Saturday?
That's also part of their thing. When you join the Jehovah's Witness Church, you have to kind of essentially be an evangelist and spread the religion. So that means certain points you have to go to other people's houses and say, hey, have you found Jesus? And this is whatever.
I ain't find that motherfucker. Is he lurking in my backyard? What the fuck's he doing?
So, yeah. The reason why I know so much about it is that my mom at some point was a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, man.
Into religion.
Yeah. Wait, so it's Easter, right? By the way, again, going back to our last show, obviously a big shout out to Hip Hop Gamer for enduring the fire, because my man stuck with it. I love what Damien said. He's like, man, no matter how much is against you, you keep swinging, man. So,
that's right.
So that's good. And obviously, I want to give a shout out to Damien, who, like this dude, like yelled a lot, but some of the shit he said was just so funny, like classic liners and stuff. There, it was great. Man, you can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry. Damien was doing his thing there. By the way, we have to ask Chris and we have to ask Brett and Charles about the epic after conversation, because Damien and those guys had another thing.
Yeah, they had a whole other thing. It was insane.
Oh wait, no, not Brett. Brian,
yeah.
Brian and Charles were having a big conversation about things with him at the end after the show.
We got something interesting with Brian on this episode. Anyway, let's get things started. First, you know who the first guy is here. Same guy as always. Final stage boss. The first stage boss. All right.
He should change his name to First Stage Boss.
Yeah, or maybe we should start putting his questions at the end.
Because he is the final stage.
Yeah. All right. Ryan Leaf is considered the biggest bust in NFL history. What game would you consider the biggest video game bust in video game history? I'm gonna go with the obvious answer here. I'm gonna go with the game that almost killed the video game industry, a fucking E.T. back in like 1984 or something like that. That's easily the biggest bust. They invested so much money into this game, and it flopped because it was a piece of shit. They made it in like 6 weeks or less or something.
Well, and you mean to the guy who created it, to his defense, dude, the guy made it in like I hear it was like 2 weeks he made that game.
Yeah, it was something like, I mean, yeah.
Well, it shows. It definitely shows.
And it's amazing that it's even playable. That's
yes. Hey, give credit where credit is due, but that's the game that was like the biggest flop, and it pretty much almost killed the fucking industry.
And it all stems from not understanding the industry that they were. By
the way, I do need to say that because the way I just said it could be misconstrued. The game isn't like totally responsible for almost killing the game industry. It was essentially the straw that broke the camel's back, because the gaming industry was already kind of fucked up already. Yeah. That game just made things a lot worse.
The gaming industry is in a lot of ways a lot like the shovelware mobile phone video game industry, where they essentially just keep throwing shit at you. As opposed to it being $50-$60, it's like $2-3, and they get you hooked on it, and then they keep get you to pay it. But essentially, they know that you see that 99 cents price, and you're like, oh well, it's 99 cents,
I'll buy it.
I'll buy it. So it's very similar to that, where except there was a lot more. It was they were trying to make that with a game that was really expensive.
Yeah. Anyway, Manny, since you're talking, what's your answer?
Oh man, the biggest flop game for me personally, or in general?
I mean, I went in general because I couldn't think of because I'm going with it literally. Flop means it failed to fucking deliver financially. That's what I'm going for.
Oh, I think you could maybe go off expectations too. That's what my choice is.
Go ahead, Nash.
I went with E.T. was definitely a choice, but I think Duke Nukem Forever was probably one of the biggest flops.
Man.
Really, just because everyone was really happy when Gearbox got a hand. We all know it fucking took literally forever for it to come out. People were cashing in their 1995 fucking pre-orders at GameStop, all this craziness, and then when it came out, it was just terrible, and it just didn't live up to any sort of expectation. It wasn't even I wouldn't even call it an averagely good game. It was just not good at all.
Yeah, that's a good answer, I think, because people were waiting for years.
I was going to say Prey.
Oh, I like Prey. I thought Prey had one of the better, because we were talking about video game openings on one of the last ones, or someone was. And I thought Prey had this episode, actually. Oh, okay, so it was this one. I think Prey had a really good video game opening when the bar gets abducted and all that crazy shit happens.
I think in the beginning it had that really great intro, but I think it kind of tapered out toward the end, and I think that's probably why it didn't do so well.
I thought Prey did okay though.
Didn't it? I thought it didn't do so well. Maybe it was Prey 2.
I think it was Prey 2.
It was Prey 2.
It got canceled. It wasn't Haze, right?
Prey 2 didn't come out.
That's Charles isn't here, but that's his answer. Haze. He says that's the biggest flop.
Haze. What was What was the maybe not Prey? What was the other one? The one made by id Software.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
The one that was the
Xbox one, right?
Yeah, it was like an semi-open world, but
Rage.
it wasn't an open world.
Rage.
Rage.
No. Actually, that one did flop. That was another.
Or they
one.
made Doom 3 for the Xbox too.
What game am I thinking about? Okay, it was an Xbox One exclusive. It was made by
No, this wasn't an exclusive. It was for PlayStation 3 as well.
No, I'm talking about the one I'm thinking about right now. Just another one. It's a Viking themed game. And you have like this tech armor on you, and it was like one of the biggest flops of like last generation, and it started off last generation too, which is kind of interesting. I forget the name of it. Too Human, maybe. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that game was terrible.
Yeah, Too Human. That is the name of it. Yeah, Too Human.
That game they like took the they removed copies from the store after a while too, because I think they had a dispute with Epic Games for the Unreal Engine that they were using.
Yeah.
It was so bad. That game was so bad.
Oh man. All right, there we go. Let me see here. Okay.
Superman 64 is another really bad one.
Shit. Yes. Terrible game.
Or Aquaman.
All the Superman games. Superman Returns was terrible. They were all terrible.
Yeah, every last single Superman game is terrible. All right, let's move on to the next one here. I can't remember if this question has been asked before, but what is your favorite game opening? For me, it's a tie between Uncharted 2 and The Last of Us. I'm gonna go first. The greatest game opening to me is it's gonna be Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, obviously, because you didn't know that was the intro. The game just started. I'm like, okay, I guess we're just playing the game now. You go through it. Yeah, you just go through the first hour. You go get Sokolov and stuff. You come across the boss and all the bosses that you fight in the game. You get thrown into a fucking like river, so you break your arm, and then the intro starts. And with the music, I'm like, this is fucking amazing.
Metal Gear Solid 2 had a really good one too.
It kind of did. And the other one I want to give a shout out to is as Final Stage Boss said, Uncharted 2. That was fucking nuts with the train and shit.
That really reminded me. That Furious 7 reminded me of that.
Yes, that was like, yo, this is Uncharted right now. This is crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Metal Gear Solid 3 for this one. Nash, what about you, man?
Oh man, Uncharted.
Well, I'm letting you eat.
Both had a really good one. I'm trying to think of games. I didn't even. I know Prey had a really good one. If you remember Prey, you were in like the bar and then you got abducted. I think. This is a hard question for real.
I could name off a few others. There's a bunch of games.
I can name one. God of War.
Yeah, God of War had a good one.
Like the original first one where you fight that giant serpent and all that stuff.
That was ridiculous.
That was awesome intro.
I think one of the cooler ones.
Even God of War 2, where you fight the Colossus of Rhodes, that was awesome.
That was great.
I think one of the cooler ones that I've seen, I don't know, it was just really cool to me, was Modern Warfare Call of Duty, where I don't know if you remember playing it, where you're driving through the streets and then you get pulled out of the car and you're like at your own execution.
And you get killed.
And you get
that
killed.
Was crazy.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And then every single one after that did that.
Yeah, pretty much.
They kill your main character, and then you play some other guy 10 years later or 2 years later.
At the time, it was a cool intro.
That's funny. All right, moving on. The last one from Final Stage Boss. This is a funny one. Okay, who between you guys, with the exception of Tony for obvious reasons, would get picked first and last in a pickup basketball game?
Tony right there.
Yeah. In order, this is what he would pick. In order, I would go with Emilio, Chris, Brett, Rachel, and then Brian. I'm sure Brett could jump higher than Brian. Get it? White men can't jump. All right, as I told him in the comments, dude, the wheelchair has nothing to do with it. I'm probably the second best guy on the side, on this show, because Brian's actually a beast, apparently. I thought Brian, maybe he wouldn't be a typical stereotype, but he's black and he knows how to play basketball. So,
right. There you go.
So it would be Brian, you pick him first, you pick me next, and this is where it starts getting muddy, because Manny, I know you don't play basketball. I know Chris doesn't play basketball.
I think people might pick
stereotypes. I was always really a good shooter. I was good at shooting from far away. I can do layups and you know dunks and stuff, but I suck. I'm not that good at that stuff.
Yeah, just because you're tall doesn't mean you're good.
Exactly. So what I would do is I pull a Patrick Ewing. You know, I go out far, and that's where I was good. Yeah. No, Patrick Ewing never stood under the basket. He was even though he was a center, he could shoot really good.
Yeah, he was a pretty good shot. So yeah, I'm gonna go. Okay, so Brian, me, I guess Manny. I'm gonna go. I don't know, because I don't know how athletic Rachel or Brett are. I don't think they're very athletic people. So I don't know. This is a very strange one.
So you think that if Brett jumps, his arm might fall off?
It's not that. It's just I can't envision Brett doing any like exercise.
He'll surprise you. He'll be like, "Hey, Tony, see this?" And he just like jumps out of a window and lands on his feet like fucking a ninja or some shit.
Yeah. I don't know, Manny. Who would you pick? You know, in order.
Sorry, I was having microphone.
Yeah. And eating problems too.
In order, let's see.
Like who you pick first, and then who you pick last.
Shit. Can I include myself in that? That's weird.
Of course, yeah. Say your disembodied voice.
Hey, oh. Let's see. That's a weird.
It's a very. I like the question. Though.
It's an interesting question.
I guess we don't all have to answer it, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Brian first, obviously, because he's like, yeah, I play basketball all the time. I'm like, okay,
yeah, I guess Brian.
You know, I used to play basketball all the time when I was, a kid.
Yeah, I remember.
So yeah, I guess us two then. We don't need to go one by one because the question is pretty funny though. This is why I like Throwdown Your Questions, man. We get crazy shit like that. All right, excuse me for drinking now. Next question is by Brian of all people. One Flyness. All right. Since I'm not on the show and I hate my eyesight, I've decided to get a PS4. No joke, people. Brian is going to get a PS4.
Yeah. I felt hell freeze over.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't care about his eyesight.
Is it 11:30 or something like that?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, 11:34.
11:34, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm currently looking at a bundle with the white console, Bloodborne, and one of 4 games. My question is, listen to this question. My question is, out of DriveClub, The Last of Us, The Order 1886, and Dark Souls, which one is the least shit? No joke. I am really getting one. I'll show it next week on Throwdown episode 30. Cool. Okay, here's my answer to Brian. The Last of Us, Brian didn't like The Last of Us, so don't get that. Brian would hate The Order, don't get that. Dark Souls, you already own Dark Souls, so by default you get DriveClub because it's not only the game that you haven't played out of these, but it's a driving game. You'll probably like it. I know you talk shit about it, Brian, but you'll probably like this game because it's a driving game, you know? So that's my answer to him. Get DriveClub.
If he didn't like The Last of Us, yeah, well, and
Charles is in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll talk when he's ready.
If he didn't get
hello and greetings.
Hello.
Hey, man.
Yo.
If he didn't enjoy The Last of Us, which I told him in the comments of it to get The Last of Us, I didn't know he didn't enjoy it, but if he didn't enjoy it, then I guess DriveClub, yeah, because we know his feelings on The Order.
Yeah, and he has Bloodborne already.
But the thing is,
Dark Souls.
Essentially, he's getting a game for free, though.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'd go with DriveClub with all the updates and stuff they did to it. It's a lot better now than when it started. So. Yeah,
Charles, you need me to reiterate your question, or you got it?
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, Brian is actually going to get a PS4. It's actually going to happen. He plans to get a white PS4 bundle with Bloodborne. He wanted to know what other game to get. He wanted to know shit. He actually asked out of DriveClub, The Order. Well, let me look at the fucking list now. I'm forgetting. So out of DriveClub, The Last of Us, The Order 1886, and Dark Souls, which one is less shit? That's what he said. And I said, don't get The Last of Us because he didn't like that game. Dark Souls 2 he already played. He won't like The Order, so by default, DriveClub, even though he talked shit about it before.
I'd say get DriveClub and he already has Bloodborne. Get Infamous First Light as well.
Ooh,
yeah, well, he's getting Bloodborne and then one other game for right now. So he gave us the choice of
for him. Actually, no. For him, I would suggest getting First Light over DriveClub because he loves the crew, and that is more open world versus circuit. even though I know that he has a great appreciation for circuit racers,
Yeah.
I know he's also looking forward to Project Cars, so I wouldn't tell him to get Drive Club yet. I'd tell him to get First Light first. And it's fairly inexpensive to get.
But the thing is that First Light is not part of that list.
I didn't know that those were games that he put on the list. I'm sorry, my bad.
He put on, but that's still a good choice though. I like how you skipped over Second Son. Like, nope, just got First Light. Just skip to the good
because,
stuff.
Now, here's the thing.
I didn't even think First Light was even that good. Sorry.
I can't defend Second Son because I haven't played it in everything. So I know that I've only played a little bit of First Light, and I know that people tend to like what was presented in that more. So if you like it, then go for Second Son. The main reason I chose it because it was cheaper, and it's like, as a matter of fact, PlayStation Plus may still have it for free for a little while.
So we'll check on that, but I think it is free. But yeah, he gave those 4 games, and you want to know which one of them is less shit. Fucking Brian.
So I say Drive Club.
Yeah, Drive Club. That's like the default one right there.
Simple as that.
Exactly. All right. By the way, I gave your answer to what game was the biggest flop. It was Haze, right? You want to expound on that?
No. Mine wasn't Haze, dude.
Oh, it wasn't. Oh, what was it?
Mine was Brink, my friend.
Brink.
Brink.
Really?
Brink.
Now here's there's
that had a lot of media presence, by the way. That you didn't go anywhere and
my God,
see a dumb Brink poster.
Brink. I forgot about Brink.
Brink was everywhere. And you know what? I'm gonna look into the camera.
Yeah.
So I have some friends that I hyped Brink up for, and I want to apologize to them because they got it. It was shit. And I did not buy it because I found out it was shit beforehand. So I apologize for that. I owe you guys one. Brink dropped to $10 within 2 months. So that should tell you how bad that game was.
Can I add another one to this?
Yeah, go for it.
The Shadowrun game, the
first one?
Syndicate. Sorry, Syndicate. The one with the first-person shooter. That.
Wait! I have another one for that. Do y'all remember All Points Bulletin? APB?
Oh, yes. That's a good one. Or a bad one.
It was so
I don't know if those are all-time biggest flops, though.
No, but
those were just bad.
But these are games that are hyped up. Here's another one I almost forgot about. Advent Rising. Remember that game?
Yeah. Look, okay, let me talk about Advent Rising real quick.
Okay.
All right. It was a flop in a sense. Because it was buggy and it had its issues bug-wise, right? But I went ahead and played through it, and the main reason that I was drawn to it is because Orson Scott Card, who's one of my favorite authors, wrote the story for it. And I played through it. If you look past the bugs, which I have to admit is very difficult to do with that particular game, but if you look past the bugs, that game was a lot of fun, and they did a lot of things cinematically for gameplay that weren't staples then, but are staples now.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed that game. I'm sad that it performed the way that it did, and we're never going to get that again, the continuation of the story, because it had a potential to be a continued epic on the scale of Mass Effect.
I was about to say that game would have been Mass Effect before Mass Effect if it would have succeeded.
That is a game that dropped in the time where they weren't comfortable with delaying games as much, because that game needed to be delayed heavily, and it would have been. I think it would have continued as a franchise if it were.
But yeah, but I mean, they were pretty hyping it up, and the game just didn't do well. I remember Tommy
that might be the biggest flop, considering. They also had that $1 million, or was it $1 million that you could win if you found it in the game? I think that would put it up there as one of the biggest flops too.
Yeah, man. Whew, boy.
They had to end that contest.
Yeah, pretty much. All right,
we can't afford to pay for that because we didn't even break even on the game. Sorry, guys.
Man, that's bad. All right, let's get to the last couple questions here. Remember, we shorter show this week by my man Blackstar. He goes, since Riku got everyone in an anime mood. Okay, let me explain this to everyone. So Riku-san won, Michael Crawford. He found this thing called My Anime List, and he listed all the animes he's watching, all the anime he wants to watch, all this shit, and he threw a bunch of us into this Twitter chat, and he's like, dude, do your list. So I've been talking about anime for the last 24 hours, so Blackstar is still hyped up over this shit, so this is why he's inspired to answer these questions. All right, the first one is, what anime has your favorite story? Charles, why don't you kick us off? Might be a tough one. Oh, you're muted, bro. There you
All
are.
right, I was muted in 2 places. I'm sorry.
Yeah, damn.
Muted everywhere.
Favorite story. It's tough. I love Cowboy Bebop. I know that's cliche to say at this point. So I'll go against the. There's actually a Gundam not Double O. Double O's up there, but 08 MS Team. I don't know if y'all know about that one. That was kind of a shorter Gundam series, and just because it was shorter, we got a beginning, middle, and end. It was fulfilling. There was no filler. You got good character development in that short amount of time, and since it was shorter, it was action like through and through. I think that's one of my favorite ones.
Nice, man. I need time to think about this one. I've been thinking about it all day, and I still can't come up with it. Shit. Manny, what about you?
Can you repeat the question again?
What's your favorite anime story?
Ooh, Full Metal Alchemist, both versions.
Damn it! I knew I was gonna be like, hey,
that-
maybe I could throw this in there.
That one's gonna be mine.
Both versions. I like the one that they kind of went in their kind of crazy different direction with the original one, and I also like the
Brotherhood.
The Brotherhood version.
Yeah, the original
or the comic one.
Like the original Full Metal Alchemist is probably one of the very, very rare cases where they went away from the manga and it wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
it's actually a lot more depressing than the manga is.
Mm-hmm.
Their lives get way more fucked over in that original one than they do in the other show. And in the end, even with that last movie, it's not happy.
It's not a super happy ending, yeah.
No, it's not happy at all. Like where they ended it off with the movie, it's like none of the things that a happy ending kinda sorta happened, but they were still lost.
Not the happy ending you thought was gonna happen.
No, not like the Brotherhood show.
Yeah.
Where essentially everything kind of works out.
Right. Yeah, it's funny about that because I was asked about that the other day by our friend Lyndon, Manny. She was like, okay, Tony, which one do you like? Do you like Full Metal Alchemist or Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? I'm like, okay, let me step back. I like them both equally for different reasons. I like Full Metal Alchemist, the original one, because I felt the story was a lot darker. You know, it was presented like in a more serious tone. Like, and then Brotherhood, I liked it because it stuck with the actual manga,
right?
But it was sillier. You know, it was a lot sillier. You know, I remember the comparison is remember the episode where with the little girl that got turned into a chimera. The way they did it in the original was so much better. Like you felt like, damn, this is fucked up.
One thing also about it is that they gave you more time with those characters in that version. Like there are multiple episodes where you see them. In the other one, they really didn't stay that long.
Yeah.
No, they tried to fast forward past what we already knew.
Oh yeah, exactly.
They did. Yeah,
because they tried to fast forward, but I feel like that moment kind of gets lost because in the original one, it took him a long time to get over what happened to her.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, what happened to which character?
The little girl, when she got murdered by Scar.
Her dad.
Yeah.
I actually the death for me was the guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? That one, and that was an example of where it was really heavy in the original, but you didn't have that.
Yeah, you don't get it. You don't get it that much because you also don't get to know, like.
In Brotherhood, they had things they had to do, like they couldn't focus on like.
Yeah, they couldn't focus on it, but like in the other one, it's a little slower, and you kind of get to see him multiple times, and then. There's. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
But then there's more silly moments with him and his daughter though,
Yes.
Stuff like that.
And is that who y'all talking about, like the Chimera situation?
Yeah, Nina.
No. Nina. We're talking about Nina.
Oh, okay. The Chimera one was pretty effed up too.
Yeah, but that was in the original. In the later one, it was just like, all right, she's dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, move on.
All right, Nash, what about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch a lot of that. Like, I kind of just watch like what's like real popular. So I don't really have a lot. But I was gonna go with Full Metal Alchemist also.
All right, damn,
I'm just gonna roll with Manny's answer.
I still can't really think of one because I'm trying to think of a series, so I'm just gonna.
Cowboy Bebop was really good. Samurai Champloo was really good too.
Yeah, that one's also another one where it ends where you don't think it should. It doesn't end really happy.
Yes. Yeah, it didn't end happy at all.
Yeah, all right. This might be a little bit too popular, but I'm gonna go with it anyway. I'm gonna go with Ghost in the Shell. No, Ghost in the Shell, the original movie. Fucking great story, man. Like, I had to watch that movie.
I thought it was series as we were talking about. I guess it's.
Well, I mean, we could talk about The Laughing Man too, because that was really good.
The Laughing Man was great.
Yeah. So you know what? I'm gonna just Ghost in the Shell. I love the TV series. I still can't fully understand what was happening in it. That's part of the allure. You know, it's like I keep watching it to try to figure out exactly what's happening.
There's a lot of listening that you need to do in that show.
Yeah, it is. But it's a very
you can't tune out.
Yeah, it's a very adult anime. Even like the way the character design too are, you know, very like proportionate. But it's just like there's no real silliness to it. It's just very serious and stuff. It's great.
It's funny because that show has never been done like the show has never been done like the comics ever. They've never done. I mean, granted, standalone comics complex is closed, but the book is a little more actiony, a lot more actually.
Yeah.
You know? And she has a mech in it, like she has a mech suit.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with that, you know, because they said actually I don't know if was the question favorite or best, because I'm gonna go with best because that's like the most like favorite shit. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we're gonna go with favorite, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sticking with Ghost in the Shell. I need to really think. I need like a whole week to think about this shit.
Yeah, all three of the questions are favorite.
Yeah, all right. The next one is, what is your favorite fight scene in an anime? Holy shit!
Are you gonna say the fight scene between Ken and Ryu and Bison?
Dude, that was the shit right there, man.
I really liked.
Or Ken and Ryu themselves fighting each other.
Yeah, the whole. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. The fucking ending of Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, was fucking insane, man. Like just that whole scene with Guile and stuff. Everybody in there was nuts, and the music was perfect for it. Not the fucking American music. Fuck that shit. I'm talking about the Japanese soundtrack. You know, let's keep it honest here. Man, yeah. The first one I was thinking about actually, Ken and Rao. That was like a really
Ken and Rao, yeah.
Because the thing about is like the thing about Fist of North Star is like every fight in there lasted like 3 seconds. You know, that's it. That fight lasted a good 5 minutes. These dudes were just beating the fuck out of each other. Great shit. I'm probably gonna come up with more answers by the way, but anyway, you guys go on.
When I was a kid, or when I watched it way back when, I can't think of like a specific one, but when I was watching it way back when, I loved like every fight in the in Yu Yu Hakusho during the tournament saga that they had.
Yeah.
Every fight.
Charles, I saw your hand. I could actually say that.
No, I was supporting that.
That whole Dark Tournament saga was great. Like every fight, I was just into.
Good.
Yeah. No, Charles, I like the fact that you could point your hand. I could actually say something. You'll hear me now out of all the ruckus that we had last time. Yeah, it was fun.
Go
ahead, man.
Go ahead, man.
I was gonna say the fight between Vincent and Spike Spiegel in the Cowboy Bebop movie. The final fight that they have on the clock tower with the fireworks and
nuts, man.
Because it was like, I think the one thing about Vincent, I feel should have been the villain from Cowboy Bebop, the series, because I feel that Vicious was, I don't know, he just kind of seemed, he didn't seem right. He didn't seem as vindictive as he should have been. He didn't seem as vindictive. He didn't seem as vindictive, and you know, essentially, what was Vincent? Vincent was Spike if he went wrong. Like if he didn't do the things that he did. He was in the same war, that same big war that happened in space with them, and all of that. He was part of it, but it's just everything went wrong, and he was essentially the perfect anti-Spike.
Yeah. Vicious.
It was just like they were just as devastating. Yeah, and Vicious like that fight was more satisfying than the Vincent fight at the end.
Right, Charles?
Yeah. Honorable mention: Super Saiyan 2 Gohan versus Cell. I just want to put that
thank you for
as
that.
an honorable mention. Because that was the peak of me watching that and wanting Gohan to finally reach his potential, and it happened. And Goku is an idiot, but that's beside the point. So, the ones that y'all said, it's hard for me to top Vincent versus Spike.
A fight so good that Naruto ripped it off.
But hey, that was gonna be my answer.
That was one of the many fights that wasn't the last fight. That was the train fight that's the first time he fights Vincent.
Yeah.
It's also an amazing.
I was gonna say the first Naruto versus Sasuke fight, like the whole episode where they dedicated to that and they did the different animation for it and everything. That fight was actually pretty awesome. I don't know, man. That's great fights out there.
Oh, by the way, I want to give an honorable mention to Ichigo versus Aizen. The final fight they had, holy shit, that was good, man.
Actually, you know what? I don't know if have y'all ever watched Claymore?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The fight with the bottom tier women versus the one guy, the first guy that transforms.
Yeah.
When she realizes her potential and that she can see the whatever that the energy that the monsters use.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a good
my
fight.
favorite fight.
That was that was
I'll put that
fantastic.
one up there.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. I think
That is-
Nash did for a bit. Yeah, but there's a lot of them. Great fucking fights.
There is just a lot of really good fights in anime fights. I mean, friggin' Edward Elric versus what's his face, Greed. That was a really good one. Fucking Greed versus King Bradley.
Pride and Greed.
Yes.
That fight was fantastic.
Versions of that fight were awesome. Where he had the sword and he just cuts the shit out of that guy. Yeah.
By the way, I gotta give another honorable mention, and this is cliche too, but I have to say it. Frieza versus Goku, just the way it ended. It's like, you know what, dude? I'm not even gonna like that and just fucking leave. You're not even worth it anymore. And Frieza had to push his fucking buttons, you know? What? Bam! Throws his shit at him. Goku's like, you motherfucker. Bam! Throws it right back at him. Great shit, man. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. All right, last question here. This is a very interesting one. I want you guys to really think about this one. What anime has your favorite art style? Art style. Not just animation here. This is a tough one.
I don't think that was.
I don't. It's not any one.
Yeah, I know. There's so many. It's like that's.
You know, I love the. I kind of love the style to Cowboy Bebop. I think it's kind of a nice throwback to old like Lupin / it's like kind of a love for anime, or previous stuff that it's like an amalgam of things. I mean, friggin' Full Metal Alchemist, one of my favorite also styles. I love the Fist of the North Star style, where it's just they don't look kind of cartoony. They look semi-realistic. Friggin' shit, there's so many.
Yeah, I mean, with me, I can't really pick one, so I'm gonna go.
Oh my god! The one with the photographer. What the fuck was that one?
Speedgrapher.
Speedgrapher. I love that. I love that guy's.
Awesome.
I love that guy's art too. Like he's the guy who designed No More Heroes, and he did also Fire Emblem Awakening, the new one.
Yeah. As far as art style goes, I'm just picking stuff at random. Whoever does the art design for like Gurren Lagann and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like the studio style, though. That kind of.
Yeah. That's
they also have good stuff too.
So yeah, I can go with that. But I really like the style of like anime from like the late '80s, early '90s kind of style.
Yeah.
Like I mean that in and of itself is pretty broad, but
like the style from the Fatal Fury movies, that kind of weird stretched out style that they had.
Yeah, like
cool.
kind of spiky with like over was it cross hatching and stuff?
What was the name of that designer that designed the Fatal Fury movie?
I can't remember, but I can Google it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like that stuff. Yeah, they did more detail in the characters back in those days. Stuff, but it's hard to pick, man, because there's so many anime with different styles.
I mean, as of late, it's gotten a little bit boring.
Yeah, it has. It's really bad. It really, yeah.
Yeah, it's like everybody's kind of designing similarly, but I mean, from then you in the late '80s and early '90s, you got to see a lot of different type of styles. Project 8 Go compared to the North Star, stuff like that.
Yeah. Actually, I'm glad you bring it. Yeah, go ahead, man.
I was gonna say, can we separate it and actually answer both, like the art style and the animations?
Why not? We got time.
Okay, for art style, because it's so difficult to choose, I'm gonna choose one that stood out the most for me, which is Ergo Proxy. I think that's what it was called.
I don't think I've seen that one. Manny, have you seen that one, Ergo Proxy?
Ergo Proxy, yeah, I saw that one. That was a good one.
I'm gonna choose that one as my art style. Because it stands out so much. If it wasn't that one, it'd be Samurai Champloo. I really love the art style of that one.
What was Ergo Proxy again? I know that I watched all of it, but I can't remember what happened in it. What was it again?
It's so long ago. I know that it has a female lead, and she has like this cyborg that she works with as well. and they have like these rules that they have to follow. And I can't remember the whole thing. I didn't even finish that series.
Oh shit!
But
I can't remember. I can't remember what the.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to finish that one. But animation wise, like I love the animations in Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Oh, Ergo Proxy. That's the one where she's like a witch.
Is she a witch?
She's some sort of like witch, like she or something like that. Yeah, I remember this one.
Wolf's Rain was pretty cool too, if anybody remembers that.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
that's the same guy who did Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
I'll probably go Cowboy Bebop then.
Right. I guess if we're going to talk about animation, I kind of stick with my answer with the guys who, the studio that does Gurren Lagann. I love that kind of frenetic animation style. But if we're going to talk about pure animation, I guess Akira, that like great animation.
Yeah.
Fantastic, man.
Have y'all watched Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works?
I heard the animation.
Animes have such weird titles sometimes.
It does.
Hearing titles like that in the Gundam one you talked about earlier, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's funny. Charles, it's funny because I saw Fate Stay Night, the original one, right? And everybody's talking about the great animation. I'm like, that didn't have great animation. Like, no, not that. Unlimited Fate,
Unlimited Blade Works. If you watch the first episode, I think it's the first episode, the fight that happens in that will probably climb your charts fast as shit because that is a fantastic fight.
I wish there was a website like that for games. I know one website that lets you track your backlog and like mark if you've completed it or not. But it's not as simple as just listing games. Like it's a lot more like fancy.
I need to find the site. Whatever the site is, link me because I'm not aware of it.
Yeah.
Anime.
All right, Manny, what about animation?
Animation, Animation Studios or something like that?
Yeah, animation, whatever, what
I'm going to go with Madhouse.
Madhouse is fucking great.
I mean, consistently, they've always been able to put out really good stuff, so I'm going to go with Madhouse. Even all the way up to the Iron Man stuff they were doing.
Yeah, that was good.
Iron Man and the Wolverine
X-Men.
one. Yeah, the X-Men one. That looked cool.
Was probably the best one. I would.
They and friggin' look at
Death Note.
Oh, maybe not Death Note.
Yeah, Death Note.
Death Note barely had animation.
Yeah, it didn't. It was just a talking.
Hey, when he wrote on that paper.
No, I was gonna say they did. Madhouse also did. Not Space Dandy. What is the other one?
They did.
The racing. Well, I love that one.
Red Line.
There we go. Red Line. That one.
You know what? I'm gonna go with that for animation too, because that's okay. The art style and animation that were fucking ridiculous. People see Red Line. Go watch Red Line. Fucking amazing movie.
I've never watched that. I need to.
Charles, please do. Like it is like, dude. It's an anime that came out in 2012, I believe, and all the cars are hand drawn and like they have thick black like shadows and everything.
They never. The one thing about it is that all the car scenes in that movie, everything is all hand drawn, everything.
Actually, here's the interesting thing: the animation style, even the art style, doesn't look very animated. It looks more like Aeon Flux back in the day. If you guys remember that.
Yeah, like a Peter Chung type of thing. Yeah.
It's fantastic. Red Line, great animation, man. Great movie.
I may watch that tonight, gentlemen. Thank you.
Yeah, you'll like it. Trust me. It's not a serious movie, but it's fun as shit. It's ridiculous. Nash, what about you for animation?
Man, I don't know. I don't watch so many animes. I would have to probably go with like Cowboy Bebop or some crazy shit. Not crazy, but just simple, like because
it's a great. Oh, it's a great show. I mean, it always had consistent animation, and it was good stuff. I mean, oh wait, you know what? I can add another one for the fights. When Spike fights that dude LeFou with the umbrella. That was awesome.
Fun fact: that was the first episode in HD. For that
Big O had some cool fights.
Not HD in widescreen, wasn't it?
No, it was the first episode to be fully colored digitally.
Ah, that's what it was. I knew it was a first of something.
Yeah, well, if you notice, it actually looks slightly different than the rest of the show. Because Cowboy Bebop in general was all done old school. It was all
Old
done
school.
by hand.
I don't know
And
if
that's why
anybody-
I think that's also why that episode kind of stands out, because doesn't have anything really to do with any of the story. Like usually the episodes, they have something to do with the main story of the of the show, with Spike and his former the mob that he used to belong to. That one stands out because it doesn't have to do with any of it. He ends it and then it's like, all right, wow.
It was a
And I
complete one-shot.
I definitely think that episode was just done so that they could test out the system to do all the stuff digitally.
Yeah.
There's a lot of digital stuff in there too, like 3D, like they did a bunch of 3D floor stuff. Really cool.
A lot of good fight scenes.
Awesome. Oh, by the way, I want to give a quick shout out to my man Kal-El. This was his favorite fight, Sword of the Stranger fight at the end. That's what he said.
Wow. Damn.
Another really amazing animation Studio Bones, the guys that do Full Metal
Studio
Alchemist,
Bones,
and they did that film. They do those really good fights. Like they have great stuff. So yeah.
Yeah,
That's
also
a
we're gonna talk
solid
about
answer.
animation. Call back to Otanime. Do you remember Love Macross? Fucking amazing animation in that.
I forgot. I mean, that might have been Production IG, but I can't remember. But before they were called that, I can't remember who it was.
Ridiculous animation.
Another amazing animation studio is TMS.
TMS, yes.
TMS used to do what those shows that they did was they did Big O, and they also did a lot of American stuff. They did Batman the Animated Series, Tiny Toons, Animaniacs.
Yeah, remember those really good episodes of those episodes?
Yeah, it was usually TMS. Batman, like a Batman the Animated Series, amazing stuff.
Yeah, and then of course back in the day, not so much now. Back in the day, Toei Animation had their shit on point, man.
Well, Toei nowadays they don't really do any real animation. They used to, but now they just kind of hire out other companies to do them now.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I mean. Back in the day, Toei Animation was ridiculous. All right, that's pretty much it for the questions. We didn't get too much, so we're gonna pick up some of the stuff we didn't get to last week for obvious reasons. So we're gonna shift gears. We're gonna turn it to Throwdown 29A right now.
You know what we should do? We should on the audio version. We should just have the Throwdown sound just Throwdown.
Welcome to Throwdown 29A. I'm your host, Mike Blanco. Oh man! All right. So just a couple of things here. Let's talk about Nintendo Direct. So they had the Nintendo Direct. Charles, are we treading on co-op territory right now?
No, actually, we never got to that topic.
Ooh,
and
okay.
I also personally still have not watched the Nintendo Direct, but I know most of what happened.
Okay, good.
I watched
Manny, go ahead. Fill us in on what happened.
I thought some of the stuff was interesting. Although they're releasing Meebos like crazy now.
Yeah,
it's like, hey,
Amiibo Central, and a lot of the waves came out already, or came out for pre-order and sold out instantly.
Yeah, that's
stuff. Well, I mean, I can't really fault Nintendo for the Amiibo selling out and stuff because that's just a collector's mentality. Like that happens with anything. That's not like something to get up on Nintendo for.
The one smart thing, the thing that's smart about Amiibo and the other one, Disney Infinity, is the fact that you have these characters that people like. So you don't actually necessarily need to have the game. You could just be a fan and just have these really cool little statues.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I own a couple of Amiibo. I bought a bunch of Amiibos for Jossie.
Yeah. I have 2 or 3, and I mean I
even have some Disney Infinity ones. So
they're not even the use that they have isn't even practical enough to warrant buying them. It's just that they're cool collectibles to have.
Yeah. Although I do think they're a bit expensive for what they are.
Yeah. All right. So what else was in this Nintendo Direct?
Oh, they were talking about Splatoon again. They were going to make amiibos for that thing too. I think it's Splatoon. Is that the one with the
squids.
octopus kids? Yeah.
They showed off Fire Emblem and Shin Megami, right?
Yes, they did, which was cool.
Yeah,
Hey, look, Brett showed up. Hello. Hey, Brett, you completely missed the questions part. Now we're on Throwdown 29A right now. All the shit we didn't cover last week.
Okay. Did I miss? Is Brian buying a PlayStation?
Yes, he is.
Wow.
Do you feel the ground shaking?
I do. Have I slipped into a parallel dimension? Like Brian's here.
Obviously-
Brian is he's English. He's black, and he likes PC games, right? Like that is the Brian we're talking about.
Yeah, he's shifted.
That's
I
our
don't know what's
Brian.
happening. I guess he just wants to be more accurate with his shit talking.
I think in general, the thing is that he probably also has a lot of people, including us, that have it.
Why is that
So,
cat biting you?
Oh, he does that. It's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's 50-50 chance if he shows you his belly, he wants cuddled, or it's a trap, and you never know which it is until
It
you
looks
touch
like it's a trap right now.
it. Yeah, because I touched the belly, and it turns out it was a trap.
Oh boy.
It's a trap.
Yeah, go ahead, Manny.
So yeah,
That cat.
I think in general it's like, I don't know exactly why, but I figure it's like, all his friends probably have PlayStation 4s. There probably is. I think the main thing is that he wants to maybe play Bloodborne.
Maybe.
So, yeah. So
He just wants to join the club and have a side bitch.
join us.
Hello,
Well,
Rachel.
It could be like okay, so he can get those games that aren't not going to show up on PC, which is cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it has to do with Bloodborne. It's surprising how many fucking consoles this game is selling.
Essentially the PlayStation 4 will be his Wii U to his PC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
It accompanies your bigger console sometimes. Your Wii has things that you want to play. And there you go.
Welcome to multi-plat gaming, where you get the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Yay.
Dun, dun, dun. Anyway,
Yeah.
what else happened in this Nintendo thing?
They detailed some of the DLC for Smash Brothers. They announced that Lucas was coming in Mewtwo, and you can vote for like what character you want in the game. And then
Oh God! By the way, all the Metal Gear fans are going insane.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm even getting fucking things. I'm like, who the fuck am I? I don't even have a Wii U.
Please
And they're
put
sending me
Snake
things
in
like,
there.
go vote, put Snake in there.
So they showed off.
They failed to realize that only Nintendo characters can be picked.
No, and
Yeah, that's what Nintendo said. They were like, no, only first party guys. That's what they said.
Was that the
Yeah.
other thing in there? I mean,
Well, yeah, because everybody votes some stupid shit. People probably put like Goku, like some crazy characters that are just unrealistic thoughts.
I mean, whatever,
So they showed off Shin Megami.
Yeah, I guess
and Fire
Bayonetta
Emblem.
can be considered that, right?
Yeah.
Isn't she a
Yeah,
Nintendo
now.
character now?
Might as well be, yeah. They announced a new Animal Crossing game for the 3DS,
Yay!
and they have amiibo cards coming out for that.
Yes.
Everything has
yay.
to be.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love paying for characters and stuff.
Yeah. They're slowly, but obviously somebody over there looked at the current the way the Skylanders thing was going and stuff like that, and they're like, hey, we can sell you cards, and we can sell you everything but games.
And they
Yeah,
have the characters to do it too.
No, and I agree with it in concept, and having a game for it is fine. It's just none of the particular parts that like none of the particular bridges that you cross on this road are bad, but the path it still leads you down is kind of bad, because if you look at Amiibo, it's not a good value for an action figure.
No.
And it's not a good value for a DLC. What they're selling you is a combo DLC action figure, which casts a certain light that you need it in a video game. You know what I mean?
The funny thing is that there's absolutely nothing actiony about these figures. Like, they do absolutely nothing. They're anything.
They're
just
purely collectible
they're
figures.
statues. Yeah, the collectible figures.
I mean, if Nintendo came out tomorrow and said, "Hey, guess what? Amiibos don't do anything in the games, but we're still going to be making them," people would still be buying them. Nobody's buying the Smash Brothers ones to train with in Smash Brothers. They're just buying them because they're finally getting cool like Mario and Yoshi statues.
See, that's the thing. It's only now that Nintendo realizes that people want to buy tchotchkes and figures and shirts of their fucking properties. How long did this goddamn take?
20 years later, right?
Yeah,
but they're ridiculously expensive tchotchkes now.
It's equivalent to like Disney's not supporting Mickey Mouse. They just Mickey Mouse just exists in film, and you don't have anything else Mickey Mouse related.
Right.
Yeah, it at the end of the day, it feels like locking away content.
Well, now I think in general, Nintendo might be flooding the market a little bit with too much with their stuff. Now, there's no place you can't find some sort of figure or Nintendo shirt or whatever because they're obviously capitalizing on all the nostalgia.
Well, they kind of have to, don't they?
They're not making games that much anymore.
Yeah, so they gotta do something else.
Yeah, but I mean,
it wasn't a bad Nintendo Direct though. I think.
No.
Like for all the stuff that they announced and showed off, it was pretty good.
I was like, all right, this makes sense for it, but it's not. At the same time, I look at Nintendo Directs as two things. It's good to see what Nintendo's up to, but at the same time, I also look at it as, okay, sell me on this Nintendo thing you have.
Yeah,
and they haven't really done that yet.
I think the problem is a lot of people go into them thinking that there's going to be some sort of like huge bombshell every time. Like where you're gonna be, oh my god, this is happening, I can't believe it, or some people wanted like a Wii U price cut and stuff, and like that's not what the directs are about. It's just sort of like Nintendo's just sort of like checking in and saying, oh, this is what we got coming out, this is what we're doing, and that's it. You know what would get me to buy a 3DS if they made a collection of the Hotel Dusk games. Those were awesome. I loved Hotel Dusk.
I would buy a Nintendo console if it were just on par spec-wise with the current gen consoles. Like, is that a possibility? Have we learned anything else about the new Nintendo system? We're not going to learn until
next year. All they said was that they're working. I mean, the only reason that they said they were working on it is because when they announced the mobile thing, they didn't want people thinking that they had like people were getting scared that Nintendo was sort of like done with consoles because they were doing mobile stuff. So all he said was, no, we're working on stuff. Next year you'll hear more. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I know some people even wanted to hear stuff now from the Direct, and it's like, well, no, what would make you think that?
Yeah, I guess again,
news about a brand new console.
I guess again, if you're a Nintendo fan, you probably like the Direct. As usual, I read through all the shit they announced. I'm like, another boring ass Nintendo Direct. There was nothing for me.
You know what's actually kind of interesting? Also seeing what's on the Japanese version of the Nintendo Direct, because there's a lot of games that they revealed on there that did not show up on the Western version.
Right.
Of course.
That's usually the way.
I think they showed a Dragon Ball. They showed a Dragon Ball Z game for the friggin' for the 3DS.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a 2D side-scrolling one.
Yeah, I could see Dragon Ball on Nintendo.
Yeah, very interesting. All right, the next thing we skipped on was PlayStation or Sony buys OnLive, which is interesting because they already bought Gaikai. And then OnLive just like, okay, we're done, son. That's it. We're over. So
R.I.P.
I guess they're like just co-opting OnLive, all the people that work there, some along those lines. Very interesting. So I guess
So essentially, I mean, what are they doing with the OnLive thing? Are they combining them with Gaikai, or what is that all about?
They didn't really say.
Maybe to try to increase the infrastructure of because remember they were also talking about having the PlayStation Go, or whatever the hell they calling it.
PlayStation Now.
I'll tell you the same. I'll make the same
they're
joke
probably opting to make that more stronger so that they can, because they wanted to have it on TVs and phones and shit.
Yeah, go ahead, Charles.
I was gonna say I'll make the same joke I made on the co-op. With these additional patents, they're gonna make it, instead of PlayStation in a little while, it'll be PlayStation actually now.
PlayStation Now runs good.
It's just with these additional patents, I think Gaikai, apparently the Gaikai partnership didn't make PlayStation Now work out as well as they wanted it to.
Yeah.
So these additional patents should help out.
Oh, okay. This is more buying technology than buying personnel, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
So yeah,
it was either them or it was either Microsoft that was going to pick them up.
Yeah.
I'm sure Sony learned from the past. Buy the companies that make your shit.
Yeah, it could even been that.
They lost the patent to the Rumble controller because Microsoft bought that company.
Yeah.
It could have even been that they were just buying it so that Microsoft couldn't buy it.
Yeah, Brett, go ahead.
Well, it's kind of the natural life cycle of things like this in the technology industry. Startups begin, they make a product or a code or an engine or something like that works really well, and then they sell it to Google or Sony or Microsoft or something like that. which incorporates it into their tech files. I mean, it's kind of the natural way big companies absorb tech, because they do, sometimes they'll build it on their own, but a lot of the stuff that's a little bit more risky, they allow, they leave to the startups, and then the startups, take the small risk, small, big reward kind of thing. That's how Oculus Rift got started. It's just kind of the natural environment that these things go through. So yeah, somebody was going to buy them, because I virtually guarantee you that was the plan all along when they were making this kind of thing, is, we'll build some really cool software that involves, streaming and cloud service, and then somebody will fucking buy us out for $1 billion.
And the only thing I mean, whoever was left on OnLive, I do feel a bit sorry for those guys. It's like, well, now your service is gone. That sucks.
Yeah.
I didn't read the article for this, but did they say they just cut it all off? Right? That's it. Done, son.
I think it might have just been like that's it, we're done.
I wonder how many people were still using OnLive.
I feel sorry for them.
Yeah, I don't think it was very, very many using it after all the trouble that it went through before with the owner that had it. So
they also just cut out PlayStation Home, because I saw a bunch of like really sad farewell letters from, I guess, PlayStation friends or people on my friends list who play it.
All 10 of people playing PlayStation Home.
Yeah, I all 10 of their goodbye letters too. I was like, wow, that's really sad. So nothing of note.
Yeah. I forgot. PlayStation Home closed down this. Closed down.
And nothing of value was lost.
Well, I mean, now you can't take pictures in your stupid outfits anymore, which is.
Hey, I used to like running around on my pirate ship.
That's the true shame. Is that you lost those pictures?
I think the true shame is that it was a good idea that was so badly implemented that it won't necessarily be tried again. Like, there's nothing wrong with having, a game hub or something like that as opposed to a menu. And if it's done well and seamlessly, and I've advocated this before, it could, you could still get to things with the same amount of button presses, but have a really, immaculate, customizable, interior space that you can show off to your friends.
I mean, I always thought it would be cool if PlayStation Home was your dashboard, and essentially a little bit more of what Microsoft did.
Well, you would need to have no dashboard and just have sort of force people into using Home, and just being sort of like, all right, well, just get used to it. And
that would only work if it were as simple. Like, if you think about, if you sit down and you're like, okay, how many buttons do I need to press to start a game in PlayStation? That's how many buttons I would have to press to still, I could have more buttons. Like, you would have to, spawn, right in front of a couch with, all the, in front of, a virtual coffee table with the last 6 games that you played. So you could still start a game with, by pressing X just 3 times as soon as the thing kicks on, so... But that's definitely not what the fuck PlayStation Home was.
No, PlayStation Home was, you go into PlayStation Home, wait about 3 minutes for the shit to load up, then you go into your little studio, then you load up the game, then you wait another 3 minutes for that to load up. It's like, why don't I just start the fucking game and get rid of all this shit? By the way, I do need to say this. I'm taking this line from somebody else. Now that PlayStation Home is gone, it finally left beta. It finally is out of beta. So good for it.
Congratulations.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's the longest beta of all.
Yeah, that's the longest beta of all. I gotta quote John. I gotta quote John Shaw now. Fuck home, shit the dollhouse. I
just thought of it would be cool if it was how you can customize your dashboard. That your home part behind you, all the shit that you found at home is present on your dashboard or something like that, and then you could jump into home to do the stupid chat shit.
Yeah, and the idea behind it too was that, I was excited when they talked about the beginning of it, because the idea was that as you play through certain games, not only you get trophies, but you get these kind of trophy items that appear in your home environment.
That never happened.
If you platinumed a game, you have this really weird, if you platinum a Dark Souls game, you have this really weird godhead statue that you can build an altar in your home. So when somebody jumps in to play your game, they jump into your lobby and they're standing in a weird cathedral with skulls everywhere.
To correct you, Tony, they did have
PlayStation
actual
trophy room.
They had not a trophy room, but they did
Yeah,
have
they didn't have
items
that
that
shit.
would appear in certain games for PlayStation Home.
Oh, I know that, but they
Red-
didn't have
like
the
Red-
trophy room.
for
Remember
like-
the trophy room? What happened to the
Like
trophy
for
room?
like Red Dead Redemption, what you got was like you got like a gunslinger outfit. You could wear a stupid cowboy hat.
Oh,
Stuff
yeah,
like
dude, my apartment had a bunch of those little like Resident Evil 5 figures and stuff. But where was the trophy room? That shit was promised.
Where was the trophy room?
It was never a trophy room. It made using the whole thing like superfluous. Like if you wanted to jump into a game using home, you had to like wait an extra 5 minutes for unnecessary load screens.
The biggest problem with Home was that it was not integrated with any of the other
It wasn't. It was
Sony
just on its
products.
own. Yeah, stupid.
Except for Warhawk, that was like the only one.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, the game in PlayStation Home, those were integrated well because those were just fucking cash grab machines. Like, I hope this doesn't become another Virtual Boy where people are like, well, that clearly doesn't work. You know, it kind of pisses me off because I know Rachel is a Sims fan or was a Sims fan. She won't play anymore because she's just pissed off. She's like, you know, they won't do online integration. They won't let you share anything. They won't let you fucking explore other people's worlds. They tried to do Sims Online and clusterfucked it so bad.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's why they, even though the fans are just like, give us something online, give us something decent, and you know, the only other comparable thing out there is what, like Second Life, and there's that whole genre of people who are on Second Life that you kind of don't want to mess with. But it's just like, why not do this thing that your fans ask for, and actually do it maybe the way that they want you to, instead of just being like, oh, we tried to do this before and it failed, so you're not getting it again.
Yeah. How about you actually take suggestions from people? You know.
And I'd even go one further. I'd say that you should be able to make a customizable avatar in like whatever home environment you use, and then whatever game you jump into that has a character creation, that should be your default template. So tell
there's
me
there's also that, like the possibilities of that too, where essentially, like, you know, kind of Nintendo's kind of done it with their Wii U, where you essentially could use your Mii inside of Super Smash Brothers as a fighter. But why not take that even more? When you jump into Dark Souls, your Dark Souls guy can look like your home man or woman.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, you'd be building Ready Player One at that point, where you have this kind of avatar that accrues, you know, PlayStation points or whatever the fuck it is across multiple games and across multiple worlds, and you feel like you're throwing the same avatar into, you know, this past world where you fight dragons, and in this future sci-fi world where you're fighting aliens, and in this 1950 world where you're fighting, you know, solving crimes.
We're talking Sword Art Online now.
I was just about to say, maybe like Sword Art Online, everybody gets stuck and dies.
Yes. And then they changed everything halfway through, and nobody's happy.
Yeah, now there's Sword Art Online too, and I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the thing is, it's like
Alfheim Online, though. It's like, what?
Alfheim Online. Use the code of Sword Art Online.
Yeah, Anyway, I think
it's not that bad. Once you get, you know, there's a lot more stuff that happens outside of the virtual world, and I think it.
You mean the rapey stuff?
Not the rapey stuff.
Well, regardless, I think it brings up a good point. Like, this is a concept that's been touched on. Like, wouldn't it be cool to have like a single place in which you branch out into all these other worlds? Like, it's been written about in several books. It's been an idea that's been explored before. It's obviously in the public zeitgeist, and I imagine would be something that anybody who saw would be like, that's kind of cool.
We should have had people screaming. That's the word of the day. Zeitgeist. Man, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, for those listeners who don't
Charles' dog.
understand what I'm saying by that, because I'm using an unnecessarily fancy term, zeitgeist kind of refers to
$5 word there.
Yeah, it's a public conception. If you condensed all of public opinion into one brain, the things that brain considered valuable or considered important would be kind of considered zeitgeist. Is the easiest way that I can explain it. It's a public opinion that's generally held. So
I just wonder why does Charles have his dog in the fucking? Hey Charles, man, get here. I got a question for you, man.
He keeps him in the crate so he doesn't get into anything.
I guess, but yeah, you got to explain some words to some people. I remember I said, when did linear become a pejorative? Like, I gotta look that word up. It's like pejorative, man. It's not a hard word. It made you hungry too, right, Charles? Oh man.
I'm done, son.
Yeah. Hey Charles, I'm guessing you keep your dog in the cage because he goes a little rowdy and stuff while you're trying to do a podcast.
Oh yes, he has taken out the mic a few times. He's taken out the camera a couple times, and
That's
yeah.
as a former dog owner, that's I've had
What happens?
He has a tail that he is not entirely aware of.
What kind of dog is he?
He's a Whippet Great Dane mix.
Holy shit, that's a big dog.
Yeah.
Big boy. And his tail does not stop moving. He is always happy, and it will take things out, and he won't know. It's just gone. Done.
We got a dog like that. She's the
That's
baby.
why. That's why they usually chop off a Great Dane's tail, because it's like that. It's like,
Yeah, but it was so cool when he was younger, and I didn't want to do it.
Oh man. All right, let's move on. Oh, go ahead, Brett.
Well, we're kind of on the subject. I'd like to ask a question.
Go for it.
If you don't mind, if we have the time.
This is throw down your questions.
Yeah. So, kind of on this note, like off on a tangent of, like a virtual environment and blah, blah, blah. Obviously, I've talked a lot about what I'd like to see as, like, the next evolution of not even just gaming, just interacting with your media. Like, obviously, mine is, a VR helmet or a virtual world that seamlessly blinks you into some kind of interactive medium where you can just open a door to start a sequence or something like that. Like, I don't think menus are going to be something in 20 years. And I think VR is how we're all going to be viewing the world through our entertainment. But where do you guys all see all of this going in 10 years, 15 years down the road? What do you think the next major difference is going to be? When you're talking to your kids about how gaming would be, would you sit back and say, like, man, when I was playing PlayStation 4, I never would have imagined it would have gone to blank. Like,
If it's not like Minority Report in the next 3 years, I'm going to be really disappointed. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
I'm glad you bring that up because I'm like, where we're gonna go? We're gonna try to replicate that movie. That's where everything's going. So
I'm gonna call up Pierce Brosnan to design me a new VR helmet, and then it's gonna suck my soul and me into the computer.
Yep.
Oh,
and I'm gonna take over the world.
More man references.
Yeah, I think VR is probably the safest assumption of where we're going, though. That's probably, I mean, you said it's, I don't know how close we are to getting to where you can just pop a VR helmet on and be transported to, like, a world of like, not menus, but, like, a world where you can just command things instantly from there, but that's probably where we're headed, I would say.
Yeah, and personally speaking, I don't really want this. I'm happy with that. I got a controller, I got a TV, I'm happy, but, where it's going...
And that's what I'm saying. Like, where would you like to see? Like you bring up a good point. Like, fully immersive VR and holodeck rooms are probably as unrealistic as they were with the Wii, being like everybody's going to jump around their living room, swinging this thing around. Like, that's probably not going to happen. It's probably going to be something that people are comfortable with and they can actually integrate into their life. So I would ask you, Tony, what would you like to see as the next evolution? Or are you going to be content playing video games on a screen with a controller 30 years from now, as long as they have better graphics and good story?
Okay, here's the thing. And this would involve surgery of some sort. It would be nice if I think and the character does something automatically, no hands involved at all. Because I'm pretty sure you run into this problem too, where you think about doing something, the interface is too slow to actually react to you. So it would be nice, like, okay, I go in there, I'm playing, Devil May Cry. Let me do all this crazy shit, and it just happens automatically.
So you're looking for the Mind Master headband.
Yeah. So
this is really obscure for all you guys out there. Mind Master for you kids out there. Mind Master used to be a remote control car that used to control with the movement of your head.
Like do an updated version of that. They like that right now. Don't they have something like that? Like Brett, like you can actually control a video game, like a rudimentary video game through your mind.
Yes, that's the one with the remember there's for people who are like totally paraplegic.
Yeah.
They have where it can you can control a video game with your eyes, like as like a eye coordination thing. There's also ones where they connect to your brain. They connect like a chip and they read the synapses of what you want to do.
That's
And
where I
it shows
was
something
going
on
to
the
go with
screen.
it. I was going to say, I'm ready for the neural jack, man.
Yeah, okay, so we have the same answer then.
Plug me in. I'm ready.
Well, they're starting to do that with helmets now to pick up.
Hands are clumsy. Get rid of the hands. Just my thoughts.
You want some Johnny Mnemonic action?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I can throw my ass on a treadmill, that's fine. You know, keep me from dying, but I still wanna jack in there.
Yeah, and it would be nice if I don't have to put a helmet. I could just be like, ding, and then my mind just sees stuff, you know?
So you'd be okay. You'd be one of those people that would be okay doing invasive surgery in the name
Hell
of
yeah, let's go,
entertainment.
man. Just put a little chip in my brain or something. Like, let's go.
So you don't want VR technology, but you'd undergo surgery to be
Yeah, let's go to the
Yeah, that sounds worse.
No, it doesn't, because
At least a VR is a device that you put over your face. I would never have any.
by the way, I cut out there. Like I said, the VR seems like a clumsy stuff. Let's skip that. Put a chip in my brain, something small, and like, hey, I'm on the subway.
Let's have a doctor insert computer tech.
And that is when someone hacks into your mind and
Well, here's the
steals
thing.
all your
Yes.
personal
you have-
information.
If you have VR and it's clumsy, you just take the VR off. If you have invasive surgery and something goes wrong, you don't take anything off.
Hey,
No,
remember
you do a subliminal thing. You're not putting it like in your.
Tony? Remember Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah, it'll be that. You know.
You'll have that problem where people are getting their minds hacked.
So
There's
that's
a-
I'd worry about getting my wallet stolen if I was sitting on the subway and
That is
jacking into
true.
a video game.
Somebody
somebody
activates
be
your
filling you up, Rachel, while you're playing a fucking game.
somebody artificially activates your video game augment on your brain, and you know how it'll probably freeze all of your actions in real life. So you just be sitting there, just rob you blind. You wake up, you're fucking naked in a
Well, I don't have a defense for that. But for what Rachel said, there has to be like a proximity alert while you're playing and someone's getting a
Yeah,
little
touch
close
me,
to
you get
someone.
zapped or something.
Like,
Not
you know,
even that. Like I can see somebody hacking up like a button where like they just walk up to you on a subway, press a button, you go and like kind of fall over. They pad you down, take your wallet, like take a vial of your blood for some reason, just walk off.
Yes, just cause.
Oh man, this guy's got 1 billion credits.
Yeah, they stick a needle in your neck, draw a big vial of blood, and then just like look at the other passengers in the subway and walk away.
So
But
yeah,
the thing is, the
it's a
other
VR
passenger-
thing. You wouldn't
the
get
other-
it.
Yeah, the other passengers will just be on their VR too, so they won't even notice anything's happening.
It'd be like
I was
Wally.
going to
It'd be
say,
like
if
the
this
end
is
of
New York,
Wally.
nobody's going to notice or say anything.
Exactly. Yeah, they're gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna fuck
So like,
it, not a
somebody
problem.
got robbed before your eyes. Did anybody see it? No, man. We were all playing.
No.
Nah,
Like,
man, everyone was
English.
playing Bloodborne on their VRs. Bloodborne 4.
Yeah, Brett, this
You
is the
just
future,
couldn't even
right?
look.
No, that would be the one guy in the back of the train randomly screaming.
Yeah.
It'll be a homeless guy.
Yo, what is up with that guy? What's he talking about? People robbing other people? He's crazy. Oh, silliness. All right. Anybody else want to answer this question before we move on?
No.
All right. So let's
I
go
got
to the
mine.
last. Yeah, let's go. Actually, before we go to the last subject, which is pop culture. Brett, Rachel, do you want to answer any of the questions we already answered before you guys showed up?
Yeah, actually I do. Let me check.
Yeah, we only got
My
a couple
favorite
this
game opening was the first BioShock. I loved the fact that it just
Oh, that's a good
threw
one.
you seamlessly into that cutscene, and then they were like sitting there, like bobbing in the water. You're like, oh shit, I'm playing. This is awesome. What's going? Oh god, that plane is exploding. Like it was a great way to just be like, here, figure it out. And that was kind of a theme throughout the whole game. Is weird environment, here, figure it out. And I've been on a tangent with Tony about how I do love environments telling me stories like that.
Yes.
Yes. You're playing the game that is the master of the environment telling you stories.
Yeah, actually, and
Pretty much.
little sidebar. Tony and I had a discussion about this, and we kind of realized, like, for those of you, it's not even like the horror. Like, I'm not a huge horror game. Like, I just really like environments telling me stories. So yeah, and for those of you that think I'm coming off as a huge just fanboy whatnot, yeah, I totally am a fanboy.
Yes.
But I only give you these things because I think there's true meat in this, and there's a lot of hurdles overcome in playing any of these Souls games. So if I seem a little overeager, it's just part of the community, man.
I
Keep
think
going,
it-
don't give up.
Brett, do you realize how many fans you have now? They're like,
Oh, yeah.
Somebody said on YouTube, I forgot who his name was, but he was like, I can listen to Brett talk all day about Bloodborne. This is fantastic. They
That
love
is what
that
we call
shit.
passion.
I'm
Yeah,
preaching.
don't hold back, Brett. Let it out, man. Let
Oh
it
no,
all out.
I'm not holding back or apologizing one goddamn little bit.
Yes.
All I'm saying is that for those of you that are looking at me and be like, man, that guy's a fanboy. Yeah, I'm a fanboy, but I'm a fanboy for legitimate reasons. And give it a try if you honestly can. If not, it's not for everybody.
I'm gonna slap you in the face.
Anyway, yeah.
If not, go fuck yourself.
Anyway, the let's see. Opening. I liked The Last of Us. Typically, I'm not one for like cinematics and narratives and stuff. I just kind of like to jump in and start beating up stuff. But no, I'm gonna go ahead and jump in with the basketball, and you want me dead fucking last. Not only am I white, but I'm short, and I suck at depth perception. The only sport I was really good at was like hockey and baseball, where you
Hit things.
where you hit things and aim for spots between people. You know.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying I'm not that good at putting things in holes.
Yeah, no, by the way,
Shane.
you guys weren't here. I actually had to make a correction to this. I'm the second guy you want because I'm a badass at basketball. You want Brian Ferguson. He's the black guy, and he's really good.
Are we assuming this, or do we know this?
No, Brian said that. He's like, dude, I'm really fucking good at basketball. I'm like, okay, you're...
Is he saying that because he feels he has to?
Yep. It's just society telling him.
I can't miss
All his life.
basketball.
Brian was like, seriously, like, I'm a badass. I'm like, oh, I play basketball. I'm like, okay, so there you go. You're first.
Yeah, I would agree with the assessment. I would put myself probably right in the middle. I can hold my own, but I'm not one of those people. I can play video games more than I play basketball. But
Yeah.
you know, I did grow up in the era where everybody had a basketball hoop in their goddamn front yard.
Oh, by the way, and we determined that Manny would be Patrick Ewing. He'd just be in the back shooting 3-pointers and stuff.
I'd be in the back shooting 3-pointers, and you hand the ball to me when you want to get a basket.
There's something about New York that goes hand in hand with playing basketball.
Yeah,
Suburbs
plays
not as much.
Well, I'm not great at basketball, but I can hold my own. You know.
We have lacrosse.
Yeah, well, the deal with suburbanite kids is we all had access to a basketball hoop, but we never had access to more than 2 or 3 friends at a time because we didn't live that close. So there was never like pick-up basketball games unless you went to the park.
Yeah. Yeah, you at least had like a full court though, right? Or was it just half a court?
We had a basketball hoop in someone's driveway.
Okay, that's it. Okay, never mind then.
So it's not a full court unless you have a really big driveway.
And
Yeah,
like a
exactly.
mansion. Yeah.
No, it was always half court. Had to run it down to the end of the driveway and back.
Any other questions you guys want to answer?
Let's see. I would actually say to Brian, was he talking about Dark Souls, the re-release of the second one on PS4, or was he
Yes.
talking about the original?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By
he
the
was
way,
talking
Brett,
about
Brett, before you give your answer, he's played The Last of Us. He didn't like it. He's played the Dark Souls 2. He owns it, and you know what he feels like about 1886. So my answer was DriveClub because it's a racing game, and you won't like the other games there.
I would probably say Drive. My only fear with telling him to get Dark Souls 2 is like you don't want to just fucking overdose on it. It's kind of a hard game, and sometimes when you're done, you want to be able to put it away, or you want to have something else to play that's not necessily as raging.
Because remember, he's getting Bloodborne with this bundle already.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I'm saying if he's already getting Bloodborne,
And he's played Dark Souls 2 already.
he has played Dark Souls 2, but the thing about Dark Souls 2 when they re-release it is Dark Souls are a very community-heavy game. So it really depends. Like, I came into my first Dark Souls about 6 months after everybody else did. So there was nobody my level co-oping, and everybody higher level had kind of devolved into these monstrous shadow phantoms that bled my world trying to kill me. So my very first Dark Souls experience was very lonely and very desolate, which kind of it worked with the theme of the game, so it's fine. My second Dark Souls experience, it was like the afterlife had just exploded heroic souls everywhere, and there was just motherfuckers fighting demons, and if I ever needed any help, I just rang my little bell, or if I wanted to help anybody, I'd jump into their little world. So I always think that there's kind of a party kind of feeling whenever a Dark Souls game is released, because everybody's just kind of manically helping each other and rushing towards the same goal, and that kind of turns on itself and sours. In a good way, if you like horror games as time goes on. So if you really like the co-op experience, like, yeah, I'd get in on Dark Souls. Like, I'm looking forward to getting in on Dark Souls while everybody's hyped up on it. Everybody's going to play Bloodborne. Everybody's going to go back and play it. It's going to be a lot of fresh blood, both figuratively and literally. So I think that'll be a good time, and I'm excited to I'll go back on Souls games, and like me and my buddy Clay, we rolled boxing characters who run around with nothing but like fist weapons and no shirts and big beards. And so we'll try and play the entire game just rolling around, punching things, going hup hup ho, just for funsies. And the beauty of a true Souls game, and not even necessarily Bloodborne, is you have the ability to make whatever character you want. I've kind of talked about how I kind of want to make a guy that wears heavy armor, can't roll for shit, and throws fireballs, like a literal tank, literally a goddamn tank. Just slowly roll in and blow everything up. So if Brian's real into the co-op and the invasions and everything like that, now's a great time to play Bloodborne, or Dark Souls 2 with the success of Bloodborne. However, for the sake of variety, I'd probably tell him DriveClub, which is going to come shocking to everybody, but I know how Brian likes his racing games, and variety is the spice of life. You can always come back and play the Souls games a little bit later. Those games have a slow burn anyway, so the more successful they get, the more people are going to play them and replay them over and over again. So, like Tony and I were talking, the original Demon Souls, no advertising, and it slowly picked up steam. Yeah. That's pretty common, so it's not as much of a time crunch as I really make it out to be.
Anything else there?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with DriveClub too. Why did he even put The Last of Us on there if he played it and didn't like it?
It makes no sense.
Well, I mean, because he was putting up what was what they were offering.
Remember, his specific question was, which one of these is the least shit? Fucking Brian.
That's true.
Oh man. Anything else, Brett? And Rachel?
I'm looking at Black Star's question. What anime has my favorite story? Would either be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood,
Manny said that.
Possibly Attack on Titan. Like and man, I must just seem like I got Bloodborne on the brain, but Attack on Titan, Berserk, and all the Souls games kind of give me that same feeling of oppressive.
Man. Yes.
Oh, dude, all the Souls
Berserk
games, especially this latest one.
Morbid.
Yeah.
All of the things are very morbid.
Yeah, and that's another thing I like about Berserk, is it doesn't just throw a story at you. It makes you kind of, connect some dots and follow along and realize implications, especially because it doesn't fucking finish.
Read the manga.
Yeah, I have been. My favorite fight scene in an anime, I would probably have to say, and I know this is tinted with nostalgia glasses, but when Goku fights Frieza for the first time.
Yes. I put that
pure
as
gold. Just fucking amazing. Like, it still gives me chills. Like, even one of those things, like, I've seen this so many times, and I know I'm being such a fanboy, but I'm like, oh, Goku's about to go Super Saiyan. No, I don't care if I'm, like, turning on the TV to watch, like, a Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones or whatever. If I catch any part of Dragon Ball Z and any part of the Frieza saga, I'm watching the episode. It's just how it is.
Well, Brett, what I brought up about that fight was I loved how it ended, where Goku was like, you know what? You're not even worth fighting anymore, dude. Look at you. You're like cut in half. You're shit. He starts leaving. Frieza's like, no, I'm gonna get you. And Goku's like, you could not leave good enough alone. Right back at you, motherfucker. Blew up your whole shit. It was great.
Destroyed him. Yep.
Cat.
And Kitty demands lap. No, I'm gonna go with the. You said anime. You didn't say not hentai.
You can say hentai. Anime and hentai is
Legend of the Overfiend.
Well, yeah, there's Legend of the Overfiend.
My wife, ladies and gentlemen. I say with pride in my voice.
I particularly like the Blue Girl because the whole premise is like she's half demon, and she the demon world keeps trying to come after her, and she has to fight all these demons with her sex powers. And one fight scene that always sticks out is I forgot what the name of the power was, but Brett's gonna have to do it in his Japanese voice, but something like needle pubes. And so her pubes just straighten out into these little needle things, and they just go pew 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 pew, pew and just go in their eyes. And I was like, man, that actually made my eyes water because that happened to me once. Not like not like needles, but like you ever been going down on somebody and the hair goes where it's not supposed to?
Yeah. Yeah.
We have just earned the M rating.
Hey guys, what is the sound of ruined oral sex?
I would actually
go ahead,
refer
Lance.
to that woman with the grapefruit.
Oh, the answer is
I don't mind.
Like,
Yeah,
way
mine's
in the
not an
back
answer.
that you're
Mine's not an. Mine's not a sound effect. It's more one of these. You pull something out.
Uh-oh.
Oh, where did this show go?
Children.
Rachel, what did you do?
We just went into Warzone territory there.
You need,
Love it.
I need to get him on more often. That's all it is.
I love it. Yeah, that's a good fight scene. There you go. You kill someone with pubic hairs.
I think your spirit animal is Tor.
Torn.
Probably. Am I channeling Tor?
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about anal beads now?
Now we have just earned the adult rating, the M+ rating. We can't be sold at GameStop or Kmart.
See, Charles, this is what I mean by Throwdown's a bad influence on the coalition.
Oh no, it's okay. I'm not gonna try to take this conversation back to any of the other shows. So we'll be alright.
Yes. All right. Now I'm
The
all
pop
fucked
culture.
up.
Pop culture.
Okay, so did you guys answer all the questions? Animation,
favorite art direction.
animation and its art style.
Or answered whatever you wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh god, this is such a hard.
By the way,
question.
Brett, we threw animation in there on top of art style too because they're two different things,
Yes, you can have a nice art style and have shitty animation.
and vice versa.
This is true. I would honestly have to say I kind of the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood on almost both fronts. I am still to this day when they show the intro sequence of Full Metal Alchemist, it is some of the most beautiful, complicated animation that I've seen anywhere around, and it still boggles my mind. And I love the fact that the art direction in that show swings wildly based on the context of the dialogue, whether things are bad even in the show, like when their mom dies and things are very frantic, the lines get very chunky and they start using a lot of hatching. When they show Mustang being a badass, the lines kind of smooth out and they go for kind of this real heavy, tapered, kind of almost comic booky line weight kind of thing. When they do a comedy moment, they thin out the interior lines and give everything a real chunky silhouette and kind of chibi eyes everything. And then in moments where they're really panning a moment home, they'll do the big round eyes kind of thing. And I know a lot of anime does that, but I think Full Metal does that really well. And knowing when to change your art style and how to change it, I would say is tantamount to being able to get away with that kind of thing. And if you combine that with what I believe to be really good timing, I'd probably have to give it to that one. I also like, and this is probably because I base a lot of the shows that I like based on a good art style. I really like Attack on Titan and the camera shots that they use. They know when to use an upshot to make a Titan look terrifying. They know when to use a down shot to make everything look sad. They know how to swing the camera around in a blade-like style. They know how to use these really weird shots of Titans to make them seem almost childlike, like in their nothing's as terrifying as a Titan who's tucked his arms and is running like that with a weird smile on his face. And they compose the shots to make it seem like powerful and childlike at the same time. And really studying a lot of shots lately makes me realize how much the feeling of that kind of berserk influence is done by the choice of shots that they use. And that's fucking awesome. Learning about this kind of thing has ruined a lot of things, but it makes the things that do it well that much better.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to bring up about Attack on Titan that I didn't before was, because Manny, remember you mentioned a lot of anime now looks very bland and boring. What I liked about Attack on Titan, the first thing I stuck out, I'm like, holy shit, they brought cross-hatching back. That hasn't been seen in a long time with anime. Back in the day, cross-hatching all day, every day, and they brought that back.
I think the biggest problem with cross-hatching in general is
it's hard
because it moves all the time,
Yeah,
which
it moves,
does move on Attack on Titan, but it's also a bitch to clean up.
Yeah, it is. That's why a lot of shows don't do it. So
Yeah,
it was
so
very
that's-
interesting to have it back in the show.
Essentially, if you start having all of that going on, you get that, and also doing thick lines on stuff used to be pretty difficult, but now they just probably I think they are actually drawing all the thick line art on there, but I think in the beginning it was a little bit out of control because it didn't have a written rhyme or reason. Sometimes they did it, sometimes they didn't.
Yeah, it was very inconsistent in that standpoint.
Yeah, having a tool in your tool belt is one thing. Knowing when to use it takes a whole nother level of skill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rachel, what about you? Any anime stick out with you with as far as art and animation goes?
Blue Girl.
Yeah, no, that's not cheap. But I would agree with Attack on Titan. That's the shit nightmares are made of. Yeah, I'm not that well exposed to anime, although my tenure with you guys has made that grow exponentially.
Yes, we have expanded your horizons.
My anime boner grows turgid.
All right, oh man. All right, let's get to the last thing here. In episode 29A of Throwdown. This is something that got Nash very excited. Brett, you'll be excited by this too. Deadpool officially rated R.
Yes, and it was announced on April Fool's Day.
I was very surprised by this. I had to suck it up, eat a little bit of crow, because I'm like, no fucking way it's gonna be rated R, guys. Stop thinking that it's not gonna happen. No fucking way. And it happened.
Now I might actually see it.
Yeah, it's actually gonna happen. Now, granted, it could still be a bad movie, but it's rated R. That's a good step, at least. You know.
I like the fact that they killed Slater. That was amusing, and I like in the little intro they go, Deadpool was in the Wolverine movie, and like they did great with Ryan Reynolds being like, he was in that movie technically, like, but that's not the character that we're going to be portraying, because I know that's what everybody thinks. Like that's the biggest black stain on the Deadpool thing. So the fact that they
Brett, you and I have been talking about this, and you're so excited. I'm like, Brett, you saw him as Deadpool already. There's already evidence there. Like I've been saying this shit for like a year now. You know.
Yeah, but that's such a bad evidence to use. It's just so. You shouldn't even count that.
But it's there. It's real. X-Men.
No, because you just like you don't count that. You don't count the Gambit that was in that movie either.
But Ryan Reynolds didn't write and direct. He didn't write that Deadpool. It's not like he was there saying, "Oh, you know what we should do, guys? We should tape his mouth shut and just have him be absolutely nothing like Deadpool."
What a terrible movie. But anyway, just because of that, I'm like, I don't know about this. But yeah, I guess he had more say than I believed he did. So, which is a good thing.
Did he have more say, or they?
Yeah, he did.
He was the one that was driving for this. Yeah, he really wanted this.
Yeah, he's actually a Deadpool fan, which like I am generally not a fan of Ryan Reynolds. If you want to know the whole past, it's I liked him back in Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place. I thought he had really good comedic timing.
Or
Van Wilder.
Yeah.
Van Wilder. He was the best.
Yeah.
I think the biggest. I mean, me and Tony talked about this before too. The biggest problem with Ryan Reynolds is people don't know how to write him.
Yeah, because he's always Van Wilder in my eyes. He's like nothing else. He's always Van Wilder.
Yeah.
And that would be perfect for Deadpool, and the fact that he has some investment in it kind of helps. Like normally I would be like, he's already ruined Green Lantern. I'm not a big Ryan Reynolds fan, but all the pieces seem to be coming together, and I'm hesitantly getting pretty fucking excited.
Yeah, because like it seems more like a passion project, and I don't even completely blame him for the Green Lantern thing because.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, that's just bad writing and directing.
Yeah, casting him for that I felt like was a bad idea. And just like Matt said, they don't write him well. I'm like, he was no Hal Jordan.
No. Ryan Reynolds the actor doesn't strike me as Hal Jordan either. Like it was not only
he would be a good
Booster
Gold, but he'd be Booster Gold. Booster Gold, or the guy I'm thinking about, Gardner. Gardner. He'd be a perfect Gardner.
Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner. Yeah.
Yes.
But definitely not a fucking. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that struck me about this. After I got over the shock, I'm like, wait a minute. This is a big budget superhero movie that's rated R. The last time we saw that was Watchmen, so that's pretty monumental. If you really think about it. Like, you don't get that. It's always PG-13 now.
I mean, nothing about this movie has me thinking that the movie's gonna be bad.
Yeah,
You know,
I
I
am
mean,
worried
like, you
that
can
he's gonna
think
be
that the
taking his
whole
mask off every 5 minutes. You know.
Well, we even saw the picture of him on set without the mask, and his face looks kind of disfigured a little bit. So I mean, like Brett said, he's a fan of Deadpool, so it seems like he just really wants to like do it well. Like he wasn't happy with the way that the Origins movie came out. So
Nobody was.
yeah.
No, but in particular, like this seems like a passion project. It seems at like a chance of redemption, and it seems like he knows enough about the source material, and cares enough, and has enough control over the actual venture itself to say that's not something Deadpool would do. And the fact that they've decided to take it in a rated R direction is kind of proof that matters to them, and that they have enough, or at least he or whoever cares or is doing this has enough weight to try and stay true to it.
Here's my question: if this movie's successful, how many R-rated like superhero movies will we see? Do you think we'll see the next Wolverine movie be a full-on R or X-Men or something like that?
Maybe one of the Wolverine or the X-Men movies, yeah. But like Deadpool's a character that kind of needs the R rating. Like Captain America and the Avengers don't really need that.
No,
Wolverine definitely could have benefited from it, though.
Agreed.
Significantly.
Yeah,
But,
I think that basically what they're doing right now, or what this will become.
The second Wolverine film, there was a rated R version.
Yeah, the home version. Yeah.
The one essentially where it was he was actually chopping people's legs off, but they actually edited the movie to be a PG-13 again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we'll look back on this, and the studios are probably looking at this in the sense that if there's anybody that needs a rated R movie and can pull off a rated R movie, it's going to be Deadpool. And if this is successful, it will show that there is an audience of adults who want to see this movie independent of their kids.
Yeah.
It's not that everybody's taking their kids to Avengers, it's that they're going to Avengers.
Yeah.
And while a lot of us know this, it kind of has to be proven with our money.
yes, this is true. And I think with how it has grown in popularity, I think people will you speak with their wallets on this one. And on the rated R topic, I'm going to throw this out there. It's like, I know it's a stretch to happen, but I would love for a rated R Batman movie.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
With
Yeah,
all
that
their
would be
talk
great.
of grim and gritty, you'd think they would have gone that direction, but I think everybody's just so reticent to do it.
Yeah. Here's
Well,
the
they
thing
have
about
to set up the
yeah.
movies for, they have to set up everything. They can't, because if you jump in and throw an R-rated thing at it and then it doesn't do well, it's sort of like
Yeah,
back
here-
to the,
Because
back
I
to
mean,
the drawing board.
Dark Knight treaded that line
Yeah, it did.
really close.
Yeah.
And I feel like that they, could have tipped the scales and made it that much better.
Yeah, here's the thing about rated R movies that people don't understand. It's like rated R means if you're a kid, you can't go see it by yourself. A parent can bring you. Remember in the 80s, Manny used to went to
Yeah, I've said it multiple times. I saw all those old movies. I saw Rambo: First Blood Part 2. I saw The Terminator because I went with my dad and my mom.
Yep.
So that's not to say kids can't go see this movie. It's just they got to bring
No,
their parents.
but
Yeah.
slightly off topic. Always think about this, how weird a lot of that stuff was. They had like Terminator 2 figures.
Yeah,
And that movie was a rated R film.
Well, people weren't pussies back then. It's just-
RoboCop had action figures for kids.
Dude, most of Predator, Alien, RoboCop, Terminator, those were some of my favorite toys. Spawn toys.
Alien, yeah.
I get more toys than not were actually based off movies that today parents probably wouldn't let kids see.
Yeah. Pussification, man. We've talked about this before.
But yeah, Deadpool's going to be great. I have hope.
We'll see about that, but it's a good.
Yeah, I'm still dubious.
Exactly.
Because Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
They haven't fucked it up yet. That is the most praise I can put on it. They haven't fucked it up yet.
Well, yeah, because it hasn't existed yet. You can't fuck up something that hasn't
All the
existed
news
yet.
that's coming out has been positive.
Yeah, but we'll see. But if it's successful, I hope it is. It'll be good to see more rated R superhero movies. I would love that shit, especially Wolverine, man. We'll see the Wolverine we're supposed to see. Limbs flying everywhere. The Wolverine from the X-Men Origins video game. That's the Wolverine.
I'd like to see the next Daredevil rated R.
Oh, actually, look. By the way, Brett, you'll be happy about this. The TV show is essentially rated R.
They say that series gets pretty damn brutal as far as things. They don't pull any punches.
Perfectly fine with that.
They said this TV series, the Netflix one, is the most violent Netflix series. So like that's great.
Now think of that with a show like fucking Hemlock Grove, right? And that show is literally about vampires and werewolves beating the shit out of each other and murdering people. Now, if it's more blood than that, more violent than that, that's pretty good.
Well, we'll find out in 5 days, right?
Yes, we will. And we'll probably come out there.
Oh my god!
Yes.
Oh.
All right. Okay.
Nerdgasm.
Yeah, Nerdgasm. I don't know if we're gonna have anything special for the next Throwdown. Brian, he may show off his PS4. I guess that'll be the special thing. We'll try to get a guest on. Man, I need to talk to you afterwards. You know what I'm talking about already. It's about a special guest.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. Let's wrap it up. Thank you for watching and listening. Make sure to follow the Coalition at thecoalition.com. Make sure to check out Knights of the Turntable, hosted by that man right there, Charles Singletary Jr. You got another episode coming, right, Charles?
Yeah, we did another episode, and then we did a first impression for Ludacris. Yeah,
nice.
His album came out.
Is he back?
Oh yeah,
he's back. He's back. Yes, and also I saw him in Furious 7, and he had a fight scene, and it was amazing.
He did.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I saw an interview when he looked like I saw an interview with him, and he looked like he was high off his ass.
He's back with more chicken and more beer.
Word.
Obviously, check out the co-op. We got a new episode coming on Monday. Another controversial episode. It seems like from the title. I'm like, what are you guys doing? We got Damien on there. Baby and the Beard just had their second Walking Dead special about the whole season finale.
So essentially, they're doing their spoiler alert.
Yeah, kind of. And before we really wrap it up, Rachel, you have an announcement here. I see you in the chat room here. What's coming back? Something else is coming back.
What's coming back?
Winter's coming.
Game of Thrones.
So yeah,
Game of Thrones is coming back Monday the 13th. I don't know. I'm not sure what time yet, but we'll announce it. And as far as I know, everybody is returning. Me and Tony and probably Carlos.
Yeah, we'll probably get him back.
Brett, and I don't know. We'll see.
I should just show up there and be like, "Tell me what happened." I don't watch the show.
What is Game of Thrones?
What is Game of Thrones? I don't get
it. It'll go from like a 45-minute episode to like 2 hours, and Manny will just be like, "Okay, wait.
Well, wait. What happened?
They're siblings, and they fuck. What's going on?"
No, see, I got past that part. I'll be like, "What happened after the part that they attacked the city from the boats?"
So yeah, we're bringing that back for you guys. Ooh, very excited about that shit. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have a lot to say for this season. I can't spoil anything, but we're gonna have a lot to shit to talk about every week.
Hey Rachel, what's small, ruthless, and makes women cry?
Tyrion
Lannister.
I was gonna go with Littlefinger.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if we can snatch Charles in on that show too.
I'm actually off that day, so I will have watched the episode, and I would love to join in on that.
Join for the spoiler alerts.
Spoiler alert. All right, guys. So subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Hey, by the way, we have a new little subscribe thingy there.
Look at the bottom right. Yes, for all you folks out there who haven't subscribed, which you should be subscribing to our channel, now it's going to be even easier. You can actually click on that little TD icon on the bottom right, or it should be this because I'm pointing at the wrong side and I'm reversed.
Yeah, like that right there. Video. Wait, hold on. There we go. Right there. Yeah. Click on that.
Click on that little guy in the corner there.
The thing that's been covering up Nash's face the entire time. Click on that.
That thing.
That's fine.
That will, if you're not subscribed to the Throwdown, you will be, and then every single time that we upload something like the Game of Thrones spoiler alert, which is coming, you will be able to. You won't miss it. And you can watch us.
Exactly. And obviously, don't forget to follow us on the Facebooks and Twitter at Throwdown Show. Links are available down there and all that good jazz. Once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
I was playing Bloodborne on this thing.
Oh, shit. You'll flip it around, man. There you go. Flip that shit, son. Charles Singletary Jr.
Makes mine rated R Marvel.
Yes. Rachel Murdoch.
Muted.
Oh no! Say bye to the people. I guess you don't want to say bye to you guys. All right, Anthony Nash.
Good night, everybody.
And of course, Brett Murdoch.
It's been real, people.
Yes, and the Podcat.
And the Podcat.
Podcat.
Who likes to bite his master. All right, guys.
Biting the hand that feeds.
You are never a master of a cat.
No,
They are
never,
the master
ever.
of you.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
We homies with very real boundaries.
All right, guys. We'll see you at Throwdown, episode 30 later.
See ya.
Bye.
Later, guys.